The 2025 Formula One season is about to kick off, and I am so excited because I've been spending the winter break huddled up in my house like a muppet watching race highlights on repeat so many times I can probably recite George begging for forgiveness and mercy in the Australian Grand Prix.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm in the middle of a track.
Okay.
Red flag, red flag.
Red flag, you got Stroll.
Red, 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 red.
Veering into the new season, it's refreshing to see some changes and new faces on the grid after 2 seasons of identical teams and drivers. However, it spurs the question of, with all these changes, who exactly is going to come out on top this year? Is it going to be Charles Leclerc finally being spared by Ferrari, or is it going to be another repeat of the 2023 season? And for those who don't remember what that was like, let me quickly recap. So, without further ado, here are my 2025 grid predictions and why. The legend, the Dutch Lion, and the current reigning world champion gunning for Schumacher's record, Maximilian Verstappen, one of the most revolutionary drivers to take the Formula One grid. It's impossible to not believe that this man is one that will be remembered well past his prime. To this day, Max is still in the height of his motorsport career, and it doesn't seem to be drying out anytime soon. Hence why I'm going to have to at least place him in the top 3 of the upcoming season. However, when it comes down to the placement in these top 3, he could really land anywhere. It all depends on the other drivers' performances, on the grid, as well as the cars and the tracks. But to appease the rules of this list, I'm going to follow my instinct by saying he will win the WEC again this year, but I suspect it's going to be a tight win, and hopefully not another repeat of the Dutch national anthem. Lewis Hamilton, one of the best drivers to have ever taken to the grid, with 7 world championships, an incredible advocate on and off the track for fellow drivers as well as the sport. With his new move to Ferrari, we have seen a lot of rejuvenation in his drive, with multiple quotes stating about just how motivated he feels in the Ferrari car. Everyone knows that Ferrari is a dream team for most drivers, and Lewis is no exception, even starting off the season with yet another revolutionary yellow helmet. Last season we saw a couple rocky races from Lewis, and he ended off the season in 7th. However, this year I'm going to bump him up 2 places and suggest that he lands in 5th. In a new car, a new season, with a new drive, I have a feeling he's going to be racking up some points. 2nd place last year, beating expectations, Lando Norris took the 2024 grid by the reins, challenging Max Verstappen for the world title. He took winning places with stunning performance, such as Miami in the Netherlands, and he still seems excited for the upcoming season. With an amazing car to back up McLaren, I have a feeling that both drivers for this team will be merely points apart from one another, stressing one another out the entire season. As we head into the next season, Lando was already considered a favorite to win the WEC. However, I have a feeling the competition is going to be much higher and tougher this year, with also new stakes to come at. So I'm choosing to predict his final placement will be 4th overall, but not far off from the 3 in front. Teammate and friend to Lando, Oscar Piastri is another rival driver for the upcoming season. In the 2024 season, Oscar placed 4th overall in only his 2nd season in Formula One, a driver I genuinely believe will take the championship one day. It is no secret that Oscar is a highly competitive driver, especially against his own teammate, as the two had multiple races where they went head on the track, such as Hungary. Considered a member of the top current team of the sport, I can see Oscar overtaking Lando in his upcoming season if he focuses, which I believe he will, considering his calm personality, hence I'm going to place him 1 spot above his teammate in 3rd. The second Ferrari boy of this list, Charles Leclerc, the Prince of Monaco. Last season he placed 3rd against Max Verstappen, and he placed highly in the past several championship standings. With Lewis now joining the team, I suspect there will be a bit more of a battle for the two of who would be the number 1 driver for the team, hence some more pressure to wear on Charles' back. However, we have seen in the past that Charles handles pressure well, and even thrives under stressful conditions, having held his share of struggles in races as a faulty team and faulty strategy have come into play in a couple of events. Due to this added pressure and Charles' ability to be one of the most determined and persistent drivers on the grid, and partially due to my own hope as a Ferrari fan, I'm going to predict that Charles hopefully ends off the year in a WEC battle with Max Verstappen, landing in 2nd place. George Russell, the sassy aunt of the grid who always seems to know the latest gossip and also what's coming next for the teams. Now placed as the number 1 driver for Mercedes, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of power coming from this driver in the upcoming season, now that he's been placed in the mentorship role. However, due to some up-down competition this year, I do have a feeling that his place isn't going to move, and he will likely land in 6th place again. While I do believe he will gain more points than last season, I don't think his actual placement is going to change, but I do trust that his day will come to get on that podium for the WDC. He just needs a bit more time to gain some more control. Carlos Sainz is one of the most incredible drivers on the grid who has now been moved to Williams. While Williams may tend to struggle nowadays, I do feel that Carlos has gained a new sense of drive from switching to this historic team, feeling more loved and respected at Williams, likely giving him the drive he needs to pull a Williams car into the top 10. Last year, he placed 4th in a Ferrari, only 2 points behind Oscar, and I am sure we will spot him yet again at a top team in a couple years. But for the 2025 season, I have my prediction set as Carlos Sainz for 7th place overall. The midfielders, a group of drivers summed up as the Battle Royale drivers who battle it out in middle positions each race. All remarkable drivers crawling their way up to the podium in hopes of scoring points for their teams in the top 10 every weekend. A set of racers who connect the drivers such as Fernando Alonso, a driver who I am praying for his World Championship to one day come onto the horizon, whom I feel will place 8th this year, 1 place above last year, as I feel it will take a little bit of time until we see Adrian Newey's effect on Aston Martin. Drivers such as Yuki Tsunoda, an incredible driver who didn't manage to grab the Red Bull seat due to his partnership with Honda, however a driver who I see pushing forward into P12 overall by the end of the season in a battle. Drivers such as Pierre Gasly with a thirst for revenge heading into P9, Alex Albon P15, Esteban Ocon P16, Lance Stroll P18, all in a battle with one another for points this upcoming season. And the last section of this prediction list is the rookies, the drivers who have yet to face one full season in Formula 1, likely to start at the bottom of the ladder in their first season due to pressure and having to learn to handle an F1 car, drivers such as Gabriel Barticello, Isaac Hadjar, and Jack Doohan. However, I see 3 exceptions to this rule. First up is Liam Lawson, a driver who already raced last season in V-Carb, now moved up into a Red Bull seat. Already I see how this driver is adjusting and working alongside the team and the driver, and even if this may be a risky decision, I'm going to place him landing in 10th by the end of the season, being pushed forward by a rival teammate and a new car. Similarly to Liam, Kimi Antonelli also has big shoes to fill and already seems to be stepping up to the challenge even before the season has properly started. He'll likely be a bit rusty for the first couple of years, but I do believe in WDC potential and his future, hence why I'm placing him in the midfield in P13. However, the rookie I feel who will end up having the best season overall is none other than Oliver Bearman. Scoring 7 points in the couple of races he took on for Carlos Sainz, I see Ollie having already had an incredible season in his brief moments, and overall I believe that he will wind up in 11th place and one of the most optimistic and passion-filled drivers currently in the sport. So, with my opinions out of the way, let's get the 2025 season of Formula 1 started.